Well, welcome to our first Zoom interview here. We're in the middle of this coronavirus craziness, and the first person I thought of was Heather Day. She is the founder of Upala Yoga in Rochester, and I thought she's right there. I thought we all needed a little calm. Like the first thing to take care of is our heads, I think, and our bodies, but I think our heads may be even more important. So I reached out to her and was wondering if she had some tips for us all. And and I want to kind of introduce her, talk about what she does every day, and then what we can do together to get through this. So Heather, welcome. And how long have you been at Upala Yoga now? When did you open your studio?
Yeah. So we opened in May of 2018. We just recently moved to a new location back in December of 2019. So we've been open for 2 years and very grateful for our new space. Just about 5 months now, or 4 or 5 months now. So yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely spectacular. You gave me a little tour on your phone there earlier.
I
I
did. You can kind of see it in the background there. I can certainly walk you around here in a second if you'd like.
So, very bright, very light, beautiful, gleaming floors. So looks like a wonderful place to be. But so you guys, you do yoga, mindfulness, meditation for an age group from kids to seniors, right?
We do, yes. Yep, we offer yoga, meditation. We do kids classes. I do the bulk of the kids classes as well as the senior classes. And then I have a fabulous team of teachers that help with all of the classes in between. So very grateful. We have a wonderful team of teachers.
That is awesome. Yeah, I think the kids classes, that's pretty unique. I don't think every yoga studio does that. It seemed like it always has had a special place in your studio.
Yeah, it has. It started with outreach classes. We taught in the Rochester Child Care Center, and that was in their after-school program. And we've taught hundreds of kids in the outreach program. And then we have a few classes each week of kids classes here in the studio. So it's definitely close to my heart. Kids and seniors are really my forte. I love both demographics, and to both kids and seniors are two demographics that don't necessarily get covered in a traditional yoga studio. So those have been really my target students.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Very cool. So recently, like, you've got this beautiful studio now, but right now you're not doing any live classes there, right?
We are not.
So what are you doing now? What have you come up with?
Yeah, so we started off the last couple weeks. We just recently closed temporarily on March 15th, and since then we've been doing live Facebook Live classes through a private Facebook group for our members and our active students, but shifting over to a Zoom platform so that students who are not our already established students can come in and take classes with us online with the same teachers that we have in the studio, just in the comfort of your own home. So
that's brilliant. This is such an important time to do that. So it's really nice to do that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that may not be aware of this, just waiting to do this, to get some actual live instruction from quality instructors. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we've had a lot of students reach out. Really grateful for being able to take some classes online. I think right now our yoga practice is more important than ever, both yoga and meditation, to keep, one, our bodies super healthy, but also two, to be able to keep our stress levels down. And I think that's very important right now with our current climate.
Cool. All right. Yeah. And so if people are interested, I'll want to put it kind of up on the front here.
Yeah.
Probably going to be chatting on for a little bit, but
yeah.
So they can check you out on upala.org, right? So
They can.
upala.org.
Yep, upala.org. Yep, they can go right online. Coming this weekend, we'll have all the instructions on how to get access to the online classes. Like I said, right now we just have it available for our current students and our active students, but we will be moving so that anyone here in Rochester or the surrounding towns or in the world can come and take classes with our teachers. So very excited for the shift, all of those details will get posted online. You'll be able to book a class, pay for your class, and then also get emailed a link for Zoom. And what is really cool is that we will be able to see our students as well. So it will be very much where you will be able to see us as teachers, but we're going to be able to see you. So that part, I think, will be a really nice touch. A lot of reasons why we come to yoga studios versus doing online videos is that sense of community and that sense of interaction. And it's been lacking having that. We've been doing some Facebook Live, but trying to teach Facebook Live meditation classes without having my students there in front of us has been definitely a learning curve.
Yeah.
So very excited to be able to see the faces of my students as I'm teaching them and see how they're reacting and see how they're doing and be able to talk to them and check in with them. So open lines of communication. So we really, one wonderful thing is that we will still keep that Facebook group open so that we'll have that center for discussion, which is a great part of that before and after class that we're missing right now. So I think that both modalities of Zoom and then having that Facebook group is going to help to bring our sense of community into the online and the digital world. So
absolutely, yeah. And I think, I mean, I love my family a lot. I see a lot of them now, but it's also nice. It's really nice to see faces outside of that little bubble that we're in right now. So I think that is huge. And we temporarily closed our office for in-office visits as well. Just it didn't feel safe anymore. We'll keep an eye on it when we can reopen, but for now we're doing online visits as well, and the response has been really good. People really like it because indeed what you say, that interaction,
it is,
face to face, giving people support, it's so much more than you can do with just a phone call or with an email. So it's been great. So
that's wonderful.
You mentioned meditation.
Yes.
And that's what I'm a big believer myself, and so I've been doing it off and on for a few years, and I'm sometimes a little hesitant on bringing it up because people think that they think there's still something weird about it, or they don't expect it from me, or like it doesn't fit me somehow. But so but I've been sneakily doing it for a while, and it's really beneficial, I find. And the more you practice it, like anything else, you get better at it, and you can get quicker results, and really kind of get in a better place. And so I was wondering so that's something I really want to talk to you about today, and what maybe you can do for people that are watching this, how they can get rolling at it, and if there's any misconceptions that you hear about as well, that people have about meditation. Like I see people looking like, that's meditation. So what kind of things have you seen?
Yeah, so a lot of the things that I hear, or the things that I hear a lot from students is, I can't sit still long enough, it's too hard, or I don't have time to meditate. And that actually I hear for both meditation and yoga. I don't have time or can't carve out that time because everyone has a busy schedule. Everyone's working really hard, and trying to take that hour long to have a class can be really tough. So my first thing that I'd love to share is that it doesn't take a lot of time to be able to find that place of relaxation. Meditation is compiled of so many different parts, but the part that is tangible that we can use here in this situation, as well as in our daily lives, is being able to find a place of calm and relaxation. And I think that's the more immediate goal of a meditation practice in modern society. To be able to get there, it does take practice, but most of my beginners that come into class will leave class feeling relaxed. Really, one student told me she felt like she was floating on a cloud. So it's just being able to leave lighter, I guess, is more of it. To be able to take that time and really just decompress and kind of get out of our busy head and really into our body. And there's so many ways of doing that. Meditation for each person looks very different. It can be a breathing technique. It can be a mindful body scan. It can be a guided visualization. But the goal is to be able to find just that place where you can be clear and you can be calm and you can be aware of what's happening, whether that's in your body, whether that's in the world around you. It really can be adapted to whatever situation that you are in that particular moment. And knowing that moment can change significantly from day to day and from hour to hour. I think that's another thing. Yeah. That it doesn't have to be perfect. One thing that I reiterate with my students, and I think they can echo this, is that I always tell them it takes practice, and that not every time you sit down to meditate that you're going to feel successful, but you just keep coming back, you keep trying, and to be able to do that in a non-judgmental way. So knowing that if you sit down and your head is just too busy, try to find a calming space. But if you can't right in that moment, get yourself to a different place, change your environment, maybe try again a little bit later. A couple of tips on setting up that meditation space so that you have an opportunity to really kind of hone in and really be aware is to find an uncluttered space. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be fancy. Doesn't really need anything other than a place that you can be comfortable and that you feel like you can have that quiet for a few moments. And if that's not possible, then finding any place where you can sit and just try to tune in. So.
And close your eyes and you don't see all the clutter, right?
There you go. Yes. Yes. Close your eyes.
So a bunch of things you mentioned there that I can definitely relate to is, so first off, when you say your students come walking out, my chair is slowly sinking here. Let me adjust.
Oh, no.
Like the students that feel walking out like they're floating on a cloud. You're talking about the first session that they ever did, right? So they really you can have that immediate result. And in my experience, like I said, I've done this for a little bit. I've only had live instruction once at a conference, and I had somebody like you who is trained in that. And walked us through a couple of different things: a body scan, some breathing, some visualization, all three of those, and it felt phenomenal. And it's like I'd been dabbling with it before, but nothing ever. It didn't work like that. And so now that is really something I can build on and use that. But it's like you wake up from a nap, but wake up well. You're awake, you're alert and rested. It's pretty neat. And how it changes day to day. Last week I had a couple of days like days I've never seen before, and so you can sit there and your mind is just racing. It's you don't necessarily get in that calm place as well as you would like, but you get in a calmer place. And you just kind of keep hanging in there. So it's yeah, like I said, I cannot give it enough credit or enough endorsement, and having somebody to actually talk you through it
Yes.
is I think is really really helpful. So yeah.
I think I definitely agree with you. And a lot of my students feel the same. They echo that, that it's a lot easier and a lot more focused when they're in class with me versus them trying apps at home, have that interaction with the teacher, but just being able to pull yourself from whatever is happening around you into that space. And I think that's going to be kind of a difficult shift for a lot of students, to be able to kind of shut out what's happening in their home. Everyone's home right now with family. And so, knowing there's something going on in the other room and trying to be able to kind of to tune out as long as you can, and be able to find that quiet space. I think that will be a challenge, but not unachievable. I think it will be really helpful to be able to learn those techniques so that you can have a couple minutes to yourself. Yeah. And be able to just find your own awareness and find your own space. And then, with meditation, it gets easier the more that you practice. I know we had this discussion earlier about that it can take a few times of trying it, especially if it's your first time, and being able to keep practicing and knowing that not every time you sit down and to meditate that you'll find relaxation, but there will come a day that you do. So yeah.
And it's usually not that far away. It's not like
no, it's really not.
It's that next time. And another thing, when I mention meditation, people they go like kind of gesture like they're sitting on the floor with their legs crossed, right. and go om, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, there's certainly it can be part of it. For me, sitting on the floor with my legs crossed is absolutely torturous.
Right.
So I would not get in a good mind space doing that at all. So so you don't have to sit on the floor, right? You
do not. No. So one thing that we do at Upala is we have a restorative meditation class. And what that does is it combines restorative yoga with meditation so that it actually helps to prop people up into a comfortable position, one that's comfortable in their bodies. We do some gentle stretching, but we have bolsters and blankets and pillows and things so that they can get into a place where their body is entirely comfortable. So the only thing that they need to focus on is their mind, and that they can be entirely comfortable. Sitting up in a cross-legged position is hard. It's really hard. If you don't do it often, I do it every day as part of my work. So I'm very comfortable in a cross-legged position, but most people are not. And so then you start to have your back pain and just uncomfortable. And that's the last thing you want when you're trying to meditate. You want to be able to find a nice, relaxing space. So it could be laying on your back in bed. It could be sitting up against a wall. That's one thing that we recommend if you're going to sit cross-legged, or even with your legs out in front, but not necessarily have the core strength to sit up really tall, is to sit up against the wall and use the wall as your prop. I think that finding any place that's comfortable can be helpful.
Yeah. Sitting in a chair cheating, or is that
no, that's okay too.
Okay, good. All right.
No, that's okay. Any place that you're comfy. Right now I'm sitting on a bar stool. I wouldn't suggest to do that because your feet are dangling and things, but sitting in a comfortable chair, yeah, definitely. Okay. One of the other things too, and it's getting warmer out right now, but is to be relatively warm, especially when you first start. If you are cold and you're trying to meditate, the only thing you're going to focus on is the fact that your body is cold. So putting socks on, having a blanket, if you're laying down, getting covered up by a blanket and keep that energy in and keep that warmth in, so that when your body cools down as you stay really still, it doesn't start to disrupt your meditation too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Awesome. So let me see. I don't want to see how much time we have. We have all day.
I know.
But
you have my whole afternoon.
Yeah.
You're penciled in.
But I was just I think it might be interesting to talk a little bit about how meditation works, maybe what kind of the benefits are, and maybe the pathways of how it works, and then maybe have a couple of tips on how people can get started doing something today, or anything else that you'd like to throw in here. But
sounds good. Well, some of the benefits, which we've kind of touched upon, is one, it's definitely reduces stress levels. Keeping in mind, meditation is not supposed to be stressful. So if you're stressing out, trying to get everything perfect, that's not the goal of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your mind is going to wander. That's one thing that we need to remember when we sit down. Things are going to pop into our head, like grocery lists and what's going on with the kids right now. It's going to be, did my child get their homework done? Do we have enough of something for the next couple of weeks? All of that stuff is going to continue to pop into your head, even as you're meditating. And trying to remember without any judgment that that's okay. It's just every time that you start to think of something else other than whatever the meditation that you're doing is, to just try to let it go and kind of push it off to the side. For now, it's going to be there when you're all done, but for now, that's not in the forefront of your awareness. So other benefits of meditation is lowers blood pressure, lowers heart rate, lowers stress level. It lowers that stress response. It helps us when we find ourselves in that tense, stressful position. It helps us to handle it better. So we're able to breathe. Just being able to learn a few breathing techniques and how to control your breath can be really helpful in stressful times. That can be your meditation. That it doesn't have to look like that traditional cross-legged position, hands on knees, eyes closed. It doesn't have to look like that. Modern meditation can take so many forms. That breathing is part of it. And it's the start of a meditation practice. Maybe meditation might not be right for you right now, but a breathing technique to help calm down your breathing when you start to get stressed can be a good start.
Yeah, cool. And is there a particular duration that you should do it for to be effective? Do you have to do it for 5 minutes, or you have to be a minimum of 20 minutes? What do you recommend?
I wouldn't say that there's a recommendation. I wouldn't say that. I would say that every person is very different, and they're coming at it in different situations. So if you have 5 minutes to be able to sit down and focus on your breathing and really shut out what's happening around you, then 5 minutes is fabulous. If you have 20 minutes, that's even better. But 5 minutes, being able to sit down, set your timer, maybe 7 minutes, so you have a little bit of time to kind of breathe and practice first. Set a timer so that you're not constantly looking to see if the time is up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And then just be able to close your eyes and just breathe. One of the ways that we teach breathing is by counting. So, we can count up 4 on our inhale, we pause for 4 and count 4 on our exhale. And then we increase those numbers as you start to lengthen your breath. And that's really simple. A very simple way just to follow your breath. In yoga, we call it pranayama. Prana means energy, and yama means to to control or to harness. So it's controlling or harnessing our breath or the energy that fuels us. So being able to just find that breath, find that pranayama, 4 on the up or 4 on the inhale, pause for 4 and 4 on the exhale. Very simple way. We do this with our kids' classes too, and kids love it. Being able to count up and pause, see if they can hold their breath for that 4 seconds. Sometimes it's hard, and then count down. And then we go up to 5, and then we go up to 6 and 7 and 8. Usually 8's about the top for a typical student. Another great option is to do a body scan. So that's another one where all you have to do is close your eyes and be able to start counting. So thinking of crown of the head, the forehead, maybe the ears, the nose, and each time you come down to a different body part, you start to think about, what do I feel there? Can I feel the air around me? Is it cold? Is it warm? And think of one thing for each of those parts and just start to notice them. You don't have to move anything. You don't need to, you find yourself in a nice still position, but just bringing your full awareness, say, to your right ear, and just try to picture it, try to visualize it, try to see if you can feel anything in that area. That will really harness your attention and your awareness. And that's the goal of mindfulness. And that's another part of our meditation.
I love that idea. I've heard people say that, like with a body scan, more like okay, relax the top of your head or relax your face.
Yeah.
Then I've had a couple of times where like I cannot relax it right
like
now.
How do you relax it?
Like
right.
I cannot. Then you get stressed for not being able to relax that part, and,
Yes.
and we're already on to relaxing our throat, and I'm still trying to relax my ears. And
yes.
So it's so just tuning into them to whatever you're feeling there, I think that's a brilliant idea. I like it.
One other great thing, another great tip would be, especially right now where we have so much going on in our houses, if you lay down in a quiet room and you can keep door open or door shut, be able to lay down, close your eyes, and then just start to listen and start to hear what you hear and start to bring your attention first to whatever sound you can hear closest, and then try to keep going outward from there. See what you can hear in the next room. Maybe you can hear the heater running, maybe you can hear a microwave going, and try to tune into each sound individually. And that alone can calm you as well. So we do that in our meditations too, and just do sound awareness. And then we bring it back in, and then you start to listen to the sound of your breath. Listen to your heart rate or to your heartbeat. Listen to if your body is moving, what is the sound that it's making? I think that tuning into the little things is really what makes meditation a lot simpler and a lot easier to start. It doesn't have to be all of this at once. It can be one thing. It can be sound awareness, it can be breath awareness, or it can be body awareness.
Yeah.
Any of those.
That's awesome. Love it.
Good.
That's cool. Yeah.
You'll have to come check out one of the meditation classes.
I really should.
Or you all
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's so worth checking out, upala.org. Yeah, see what you can find out. I think you gave some really good tips there. I think people can run with that.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, they can certainly reach out. I have a ton of resources and different tips and lots of classes, to take and to learn some of these concepts in more depth. We have a great wealth of teachers that teach lots of styles of yoga, and in all different techniques, and finding that person, finding that leader or that teacher that can help to build your practice, whether it's meditation or yoga or mindfulness, or breathing, is really important. That one that you really connect with, that's really what's gonna pull you into wanting to do this every day. And when you start to see the benefits of it, I think that also is very, very, very helpful. And remembering to start small,
Okay.
little bits of time.
Yeah. Non-judgmental, she said, right?
And yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not judging yourself while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really hard. We are our own worst critics. So when your mind starts to wander and it's just not on what you believe is supposed to be where you're focusing, just remember that it's practice. You know, it's not a test. There's no competition there. It's really practice. Each time you notice that your mind wandering, just pull it back and start again.
Cool. Brilliant. Well, thanks so much. I feel better already.
Good.
Yeah, we should do this again. I'm sure we can come up
Yeah.
with something else. But yeah, let's
Definitely.
let's stay in touch. Be well,
Thank you.
and hopefully we'll be seeing each other in real life again soon.
I hope so. But you know what? We're all working really hard to get this remote workspace up and running, and I think the world's doing a pretty good job so far at trying to get us and keep us all connected.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I see some really nice things happening as well. Like people are connecting harder. They're really looking for connections. I was running the other day, and then normally there's these runners that you see passing. They will give each other a nod or kind of a vague wave. And I was like, hey, how are you? And people are actually like trying to have a quick little conversation as you're going in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Or just, I think something good will come out of this.
I agree.
Everybody's outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Get a little more family time, a little more perspective on the important things of life as well.
Absolutely.
So,
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. That was fun.
Thanks.